A customer at my cafe screamed, "Your baby is being born across the street right now, and this is what you're doing." I was making a vanilla latte when this woman started screaming at me from the other side of the counter. Her face was bright red like she'd been running. "Your baby is being born across the street right now, and this is what you're doing?" I finished pouring the milk and looked up at her confused. "Ma'am, I'm just doing my job." That's when things got crazy. She actually came around the counter, which customers are not allowed to do, and grabbed my arm hard enough to leave marks. Her nails dug into my skin through my work shirt. "Let's go," she said, pulling me toward the door. "You were absent during this whole pregnancy, but you're not gonna miss the birth of your daughter." I tried to pull away, but she had this death grip on me. My manager Eddie just stood there with his mouth open, not helping at all. "Lady, I don't have a wife, and certainly not a pregnant one," I said, trying to make sense of what was happening. She snorted and dragged me harder. "Yeah, 'cause you never cared to meet Lana or the rest of her friends and family," she spat back at me. My brain was spinning trying to think of any Lana I knew. I went through every girl I'd talked to in the past year. Nothing. No Lanas at work or gym or anywhere. I've never met a Lana before. She stopped at the cafe door and turned to glare at me. "You better not say that in the delivery room." Before I could argue more, she yanked me across the street to the hospital. The emergency room was packed, but she marched right past everyone to the maternity ward like she owned the place. At the sign-in desk, there was a young nurse with a butterfly tattoo on her wrist who looked up and immediately frowned at me. "So this is the guy?" the nurse asked a crazy woman. "Yep, this is him," the woman said. "Can you believe how irresponsible and toxic he is? He doesn't even remember her name." The nurse shook her head at me like I was the worst person alive. "Room 367. They're all waiting for you." I wanted to run, but the woman still had my arm in her iron grip. She pushed me into the elevator and pressed the button for the third floor. When the doors opened, there was an older couple standing in the hallway. The man was tall and bald with arms like tree trunks. The woman was shorter with the same nose as the crazy lady who'd kidnapped me. "You must be Lana's parents," I said, hoping they'd be reasonable. The dad's face turned purple. "Disgraceful," he growled, and then actually spit on my shoes. The mom just stared at me with pure hatred. "How dare you show up now after everything you put our daughter through?" I was about to explain that I had no idea what was happening when a younger guy came out of a room down the hall. He was built like a football player with blonde hair and a jaw that looked like it could cut glass. He walked straight up to me and without warning punched me square in the face. Pain exploded through my jaw and I tasted blood. I stumbled back into the wall holding my face. "Sorry," he said, cracking his knuckles. "I needed to get that out." "Who are you?" I mumbled through the pain. "Paul, Lana's boyfriend," he said. "The one who's been there for her while you pretended she didn't exist." Every single person I met kept giving me these death stares. A doctor walked by and shook his head at me. A pregnant woman in a wheelchair actually hissed. No one believed me when I said I didn't know who Lana was. Finally, Paul pushed me toward room 367. "Get in there. She's about to deliver." The delivery room was chaos. Nurses were rushing around with equipment and machines were beeping everywhere. There was a woman on the bed screaming, but I couldn't see her face because of all the medical staff around her. A doctor in blue scrubs pointed to a chair in the corner. "Father stays there until we're ready," he said. I sat down, still holding my aching jaw. The screaming got louder and then suddenly stopped. A baby's cry filled the room. The nurses were cleaning something off and wrapping it in a pink blanket. "You can come see your daughter now," one of them said to me. My legs felt like jello as I walked toward the bed. As I got closer, the medical staff moved aside and I finally saw the woman's face. Everything clicked at once. The room started spinning. Lana. I did know her. That house party 6 months ago when I was completely wasted. We'd made out by the pool and then nothing. I blacked out and woke up at home. Never saw her again or even remembered her name until right now. "You're insane," I said, staring at her exhausted face. "I want a paternity test done right now." She laughed weakly. "There's no need. Paul's infertile. I went to that party specifically looking for a father." I froze. "What?" "I only told you now because I'm gonna need child support," she said, holding the crying baby. "Congratulations, Daddy." I looked around, not happening, and started walking out. Her dad blocked me. Full story on channel linked below.